So Tesla does something that no other car company does with all their models, and that is at the end of each year, being quarter four, they add a small number, well, a bunch of new specs, updates, features over the previous model year. Now those changes are smaller than a refresh, but chunky enough to be a worthy upgrade. So today we're going to deep dive into the potential 2026 changes, including range enhancements and touching on the latest affordable Tesla rumour, potentially just weeks away as well. This isn't about flashy unveilings or paradigm shifting reveals. This is just typical Tesla behaviour of never standing still and constantly evolving the product without massive price increases. Please note though, you will have to temper your expectations as we're about to go through the possible changes, and these aren't full redesigns or some AI generated crap. Ever since I've owned my first Tesla in 2020, they've been doing these small evolutionary steps that just add up over time, and it just makes buying a new Tesla feel a little bit smarter and a whole lot more attuned to expectations. And spoiler alert, there's more range coming to two very popular Tesla models. Therefore, as we head into the nitty gritty, I'll break it down model by model, starting with the evergreen bestseller, being the Tesla Model Y, and we'll also unpack the juicy rumoured, smaller and more affordable E41 variants of the Tesla Model Y that's stirring up some talk about making Tesla EVs more accessible to the masses. And by the end of the video, you'll have a clearer picture of the changes to the Tesla Model 3 and Y, and even that cheeky new model, and why these understated changes might just be Tesla's smartest move yet. So if that sounds like an interesting insight to you, please can you like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give the video some hype if you haven't done so already. Thank you for doing those lovely things. Let's get into it. As promised, starting with the world favourite, the 2026 Tesla Model Y. Tesla's undisputed volume king and the vehicle that's single-handedly dragged millions into the EV fold. As of late September 2025, European deliveries have kicked off for the performance variant. US buyers though, they're watching with envy and with jealousy of its imminent announcement, and whilst we're not anticipating any US exclusive changes to the brand new performance Model Y, what US individuals are expecting is an EPA estimated range bump to 327 miles on the long-range all-wheel drive model. That would deliver a solid improvement over the current figures, and it comes courtesy of tweaks in the battery chemistry. There's more range-enhancing additions for other models too, if you can keep your attention for just a little bit longer. Shifting gears to Europe, where Tesla's been particularly chatty with regulatory findings, the 2026 Model Y introduces a new long-range rear-wheel drive variant under the codename YS5MR. Now this one will go under the radar at first, but really it's a game changer for efficiency lovers. It will boast a WLTP rated range of 661 kilometers, which translates to roughly 410 miles in EPA terms if we do the conversion, and the WLTP range reaches 661 kilometers on the larger 20-inch wheels, marking up to an 8% increase from prior models, and that's all thanks to a new 82 to 84 kilowatt hour LG M5 battery pack. Power delivery is admittedly preppy too, at 220 kilowatts peak from the single motor, with whispers of it touching 260 kilowatts in bursts for those in highway merges. The efficiency figures, you ask? Well, expected to be a razor sharp 142 watt hours per kilometre, which means fewer stops at the charger on those cross-country treks, but more importantly, Tesla's kept the weight in check with the revised battery pack, so the handling should stay just as nimble and ride compliant, with the overall feel true to the Y's sporty crossover roots, even for the long-range rear-wheel drive Model Y. Next up, I know it isn't super sexy, but you want it if it's on offer. Safety will get a quiet upgrade with revised seatbelt pretensions and load limiters, and that's going to be designed to distribute forces more evenly in a crash scenario. It's the kind of change that doesn't make headlines, but it does earn nods from safety regulators, but more importantly, passengers will be safer on the roads. Then there's the side sill reinforcement revisions. Hopefully this is going to yield some thicker aluminum extrusions along the rocker panel that's better withstanding curb kisses or light road scrapes. Now these seals can be dent prone, and Tesla must have picked up on that to make the global change for more durability, more range, better safety, more durability, and there could be some more treats that we just aren't aware of. Would you look at that? Maybe some more changes. Now, let's pivot to the E41. This could be exciting. Any guesses what it could potentially mean? Well, that's the quoted codename for Tesla's stripped down Model Y that's targeted to be the low cost, more affordable Tesla EV. Now, where does the information on this begin and where's it from? Well, fresh Tesla firmware leaks from Hacker Green on X confirms that the project seems to be very much alive. Now, Tesla may have shifted from a standalone budget EV to this no-frills Model Y variant aimed at slashing manufacturing costs by 20% and hitting streets in Q4 2025, starting in the US before China in 2026. So as the federal tax credit comes to an end, could the more affordable Tesla Model Y then take the US by storm? As production ramps mid next year on existing Model Y lines, they share the same platform, but they're going to be ditching the luxuries that could then get a speculative price of maybe $35,000. And they may be thinking, well, Adam, what's the catch then? Well, as the X post goes, the panoramic roof could be swapped for a plain steel panel. Rear passenger screen, gone. Audio dialed back to a essential mode, plus an even tighter essential with commodity tier to mix it up even further. The rear backup camera sacrifices a heater. The center console is going to lose its fancy airway vents for a more simpler airflow. The header is supposed to compromise of a fiberglass basic over the quilted premium. Lighting trims reduced to footwells only. The seat controls also supposed to be reduced to a single axis stick for adjustments without memory presets. Mirrors will no longer be power folded. Podal lamps are out. Wheels default to a simplified 18-inch Steely's tuned for economy over flare. It could well be the Model 3 Photon wheels. The one wild card that I do have questions marked with is no TPMS, being tire pressure monitoring systems. As you may be aware, this may go against some regs in some select markets, so do take this all with a pinch of salt, but you can kind of see the trend that Tesla is trying to achieve. Suspension is also expected to be different for a more cost-conscious approach, and range that could hold at near 300 miles with the same battery pack too. Ultimately, the vision for the proposed E41 Tesla Model Y would be Tesla's volume bet. Flood the market without diluting the premium Y's appeal. And if you actually compare those rumours with the base Model Y today, based on these rumours, I don't really see it stealing demand from it, but it really would be a cost-conscious companion. And if critics call it the barebone Tesla, I don't think that will actually be far off in a competitive market, but it will help Tesla with more volume. And if I'm being completely honest, my wires will be completely open for Q4 on its potential announcement. Moving down the line to Tesla Model 3, Tesla's sporty sedan stalwart that's been recently overshadowed by the Model Y's advances, but maybe not so much longer. The 2026 Model 3 isn't reinventing the wheel or anything. The anticipated changes are a bit more about closing the gap with its crossover sibling and just ironing out some of the post-refresh kinks. Ever since the Model 3 was refreshed not so long ago, I think it's been well liked, but being frank, the biggest hesitation to ownership has been the lack of indicator stalks. I mean, the comment section on the Model 3 videos, Tesla forums, they're full of gripes about the turn signal buttons and just how it's fiddly, especially around roundabout scenarios. So enter Tesla's solution that's already on the Model Y, and that's not all that's been changed. First up, that turn signal that you all want is reportedly making a comeback, at least in key markets, with an upgrade kit already available in China for around $349 via the Tesla app. Also retrofittable for that classic flick feel. Here's not a full retreat from the button era though, but apparently it's going to be now a hybrid approach that gives options without complicating the minimalist ethos that Tesla has. Pair that with the absent new front bumper mounted camera. Remember where we've already seen that. Again, it's all about bridging the gap to the Model Y's hardware advantage that it has today. Under the hood, or rather under the floor, the brake-by-wire system apparently gets refined for an even silkier integration with regenerative braking. Stop should feel a bit more progressive with less nosediving and better energy recapture, pushing real-world efficiency towards that 300 plus mile EPA mark without any hardware swaps. The refreshed lineup certifies 520 kilometers WLTP for the rear-wheel drive on the 19-inch wheels, with the long-range rear-wheel drive hitting 691 kilometers on the 19-inch or 750 kilometers on the 18-inch setup. It achieved 660 kilometers WLTP on the 20-inch wheels for the long-range all-wheel drive, whilst performance all-wheel drive clocks in at 571 kilometers. That's going to be all powered by that new upgraded LG battery that I mentioned earlier for the Model Y. The glass roof, that's also going to score a coated upgrade too. It's going to be a thin film that cuts UV rays and glare by up to 99% while keeping the open sky feel intact. Again, something the Model Y already had. Ultimately, the additions make the Model 3 just that little bit closer to perfection. If you're in the market for a sedan that punches way above its weight in tech and thrift, the 2026 Tesla Model 3 is the refined choice that proves smaller steps can cover serious ground. So wrapping it all up, Q4, the 2026 Tesla lineup will be the best yet. The Model Y is looking to broaden its appeal and range with the E41's cost cuts, chasing mass adoption. 2026 Tesla Model 3 looks to achieve some tech parity with the Model Y and some more range. Tesla is really looking at its flaws and just making gains here and there, just driving its appeal even further. Tesla does this each year, and bit by bit, you don't have to wait until a 3-year refresh cycle takes place with the alternatives. So what do you think with these reports? What extra bits do you think are coming? And are you generally interested in this new E41 Tesla project? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the links in the video description though as well. You folks have been great, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.